مرحبا إلى هذا الدرس في برنامج تكلم العربية مع أوباكيدز على قناة أوباكيدز لينك. اليوم سنتكلم عن أدوات جزم الفعل المضارع. You are all welcome to this program, Speak Arabic with Obakids. Today, inshallah, we are going to discuss the present tense Jazm particles. In our previous lessons, we have discussed the present tense and its particles. We further discussed Nasb particles, that they are those particles that give the end of the present tense al-fatha parsing mark instead of the initial ad-damma. In today's lesson, we shall discuss the Jazm particles of present tense, a condition whereby the present tense takes a sukoon parsing mark instead of the initial ad-damma. Let's explain and give examples to illustrate our explanation. Meaning of Jazm. Jazm means giving the end of the present tense a parsing mark as sukoon instead of the initial parsing mark, which is ad-damma. When a present tense is preceded by any of the Jazm particles, it automatically changes the parsing mark on its end from ad-damma to as-sukoon. The present tense takes Jazm sign, which is as-sukoon, if it is preceded by any of one of the particles of Jazm. These particles are lam, la, and in. Lam and la. These two particles give only one present tense Jazm sign. The first one is negating the occurrence of an action in the past, while the second one rejects the occurrence of an action to be performed by the second person. However, the in particle gives two present tense Jazm parsing mark at a time, and the occurrence of the first verb is the condition for the occurrence of the second verb succeeded by in. Now, let us give a brief explanation on each of the Jazm particles with examples. 1. Lam. The first of these Jazm particles is lam. Lam means did not or didn't. It is used to express the action which has not been done in the past. Examples are the following. Lam yaqra Yusufu darsahu. Yusuf did not read his lesson. Lam ajlis ala al-kursi. I did not sit on the chair. Lam taktub Radiatu al-imtihana. Rhoda did not write the exam. Lam yusafir abi. My father did not travel. Lam nasma illa al-khabar. We did not listen to the news. So, the verbs of fi'l mudari that take sukoon here are yaqra, ajlis, taktub, yusafir, and nasma. The reason why these verbs of fi'l mudari are taking sukoon is because of lam, and lam is used to negate the occurrence of an action. In the above examples, the verbs yaqra, ijlis, taktub, yusafir, and nasma are all present tense. They all end with the parsing mark as sukoon because they were preceded by Jazm particle lam. However, the Jazm particle lam, as mentioned in the sentences above, indicates the negation of the occurrence of an action in the past form, or denying the occurrence of an action in the past. 2. La. The second of the Jazm particles of the present tense is la, which means do not or don't. It is usually referred to as la nahiya, the negative la. It indicates the negation of an action to be performed by the second person. This occurs when the speaker, the first person, tells the listener, the second person, not to do or perform a particular action. Here are some examples. لا تجلس على الكرسي. Do not sit on the chair. لا تأكل طعاما وأنت واقف. Do not eat the food while you are standing up. لا تقرب صلاة وأنت سكران. Do not perform prayer while you are drunk. لا تشرب الماء الآن. Do not drink water now. لا تذهب إلى الميدان. Do not go to the field. So, the verbs of present tense that take sukun here are تجلس, تأكل, تقرب, تشرب, and تذهب. The reason why these verbs of fi'l mudari take sukun is because of la, and la is used to prevent the second person or the listener from doing something. If we go through the above examples, we discover that the verbs تجلس, تأكل, تقرب, تشرب, and تذهب are all present tense with the parsing marks as sukun on their end. This is due to the jazm particle la that preceded them. Also, if we look at the function of the jazm particle la as used in those sentences, we discover that it is negating the occurrence of an action to be done by the second person. In the third of the jazm particles in the present tense is in, which means if. It is called a conditional jazm particle because it gives the condition on the action to be performed, likewise the result of such action if it is performed. Examples. Here are some examples. In تجلس على المقعد أجلس معك. If you sit on the bench, I will sit with you. إن يسافر أبي أسافر معه. If my father travels, I will travel with him. إن تضرب أخاك يضربك عمي. If you beat your brother, my uncle will beat you. إن تقرأ القرآن يفتح الله قلبك للحق. If you read Quran, Allah will open your heart to the truth. إن تسمع نصيحة والدك تنجح في الامتحان. If you listen to your father's advice, you will succeed in the exam. So, the verbs of fi'l mudari that are taking sukun here are تجلس and أجلس, يسافر and أسافر, تضرب and يضرب, تقرأ and يفتح, تسمع and تنجح. The reason why two verbs of fi'l mudari are taking sukun instead of one is because in is a conditional particle of jazm, which means if this happens, that will happen. In all the sentences above, the present tense are all conditional present tense with the results of each action attached to it if it is performed. Each sentence consists of two present tense verbs and each of them ends with jazm sign. The occurrence of one of these verbs is a condition for the occurrence of the second one. That is why the in particle is regarded as a conditional jazm particle. The first verb is known as the conditional verb while the second one is known as conditional result verb. Summarily, the present tense takes as sukun on its end if it's preceded by one of the jazm particles of the present tense. However, if these particles are removed, it ends with initial rafu sign, which is a dhamma. Jazm means giving the end of the present tense as sukun, parsing mark, instead of the initial dhamma. Hope you enjoyed our class for today. Join us on the next lesson for another episode on Speak Arabic with Obakids. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe to our channel Obakids Link TV, go to Facebook and Instagram. And also, for more interesting topics and subjects, visit our website at www.obakids.com. Thank you all for